Hello, look, I'm Kevin Byrne. I'm President of the Cairns Tourism Industry Association. This morning, I'm talking to you from the Chambers Restaurant in Cairns. Now, this is a beautiful facility that underwent an enormous restoration 2-3 years ago, and it really is an exquisite place. And it is one of those places that I want to talk to you from to give you an idea of what is happening in Cairns right now and how we've responded to the opening up of the borders as of Friday last week. What businesses are saying to me is that they were so excited that the borders were opened up. Disappointed, of course, that the Melburnians in particular, but now Victorians totally, have been pretty well banned from coming to our part of the world at a crucial time, the holiday season, school holidays. The issue that I want to impress upon you today is the need that businesses in the tourism sector, and indeed businesses all over Australia, need to have, and that is some certainty going forward out of the total lockdown of the country and growing their businesses and growing tourism and getting back to normality. There is a total disconnect, I feel, in how the states, and in particular Queensland, is managing this growth back into normality. We seem to be driven subterraneously by a policy of complete elimination of the virus. It's not going to happen. Industry people understand that it's not going to happen, but they know that that is why the state has embarked upon this process. I think we need to accept the fact that suppression should be the order of the day, and that the state government needs to make the decisions. The cabinet needs to make the decisions. There is great anxiety here that we are being driven by an agenda from the health, from Dr. Jeanette Young and others, that we need to eliminate this virus from all of Queensland and indeed all of Australia. So the tourism industry is hemorrhaging in our part of the world, and it's hemorrhaging because there is no certainty. It's hemorrhaging because there is anxiety about the fact that they're hearing anecdotally that people are not prepared to make the bookings to come in large numbers, despite what the media is saying, the large numbers that we're used to, because they're not going to book when they know that they could very well tomorrow have the border closed down on them again. So that's the first issue we need to address, and my plea to the government on behalf of the businesses and industries of far north Queensland and Cairns, but regional Queensland in particular, is to own up and accept the responsibilities, the economic management of us coming out of this pandemic and going into a world where we accept suppression, we accept that there will be numbers, there will be breakouts, isolated breakouts in various parts of the state, and not to react destructively, not to panic and not to lock everything down, because it's not going to work. We cannot go into a stop-start situation. The other thing I urge people to do, our community leadership to do, is to understand the local economies, the local regional economies, and play a supportive role in that, in the advocacy that I'm espousing to the state government everywhere. The state government in Queensland in particular, but I hear today the Northern Territory government is thinking of a total lockdown there for anybody in New South Wales. That's not going to work. This country cannot keep going down the path of stop, start, stop, start. You know, there are businesses that have just breathed a sigh of relief in the southern part of this state with a border opening in the Coolangatta Tweed Heads region, and today it's being threatened to be shut again. We, 2,200 kilometres from Brisbane, cannot plan substantially for us, for our industry, for our business to go through this stop, start philosophy. And to give you an idea, Across Australia, as I speak to you, there are 17 people currently in ventilator beds. Sad and all as that might be, the reality is those people are there during a normal flu season anyway. That is 17 people in ventilator beds out of a total number of beds across Australia of 7,000. We in Queensland were planning a huge response when this started. And now people are talking with throwaway gimmicky lines of, we're in our second wave, we want to prevent a second wave. Well, we're in the midst of the first wave of this. And we need to follow the science, sure, but we need to follow the facts, and we need to follow the numbers, and we need to assess that reality against the reality of keeping our economies, keeping our kids in school, keeping schools open, keeping communities across Northern Australia active, vibrant and ready to survive this pandemic situation into the next suppression stage we have to go through when we achieve the objective of having a vaccine to limit the spread of this virus.